Okay, now that we know how to transform our object, we're going to go back to some of the basic fundamentals, and we're going to go all the way back to lines. So we're going to work our way up from lines to polylines to surfaces to polysurfaces. But lines is basically the fundamental thing that makes up, I would argue, everything in Rhino. I like to dumb down my designs and then just rebuild them sometimes just to do some troubleshooting. But the three commands we're going to go over in this video is trim, extend, as well as fillet. So we're going to start off by actually going to the top view. So I'm going to double click top just to zoom in on the top view. And I mouse over here for polyline. I'm just going to start this polyline anywhere. It's going to ask for the next point. I'm just going to click somewhere here. Now we can continue this polyline if we wanted forever. You can also type in how long you want these polylines to be. So if I want this to be 100 units, I can type in 100, and then it'll only draw the black part of the line. It will not draw the white part. So for example, if I just want this right here, and I'm going to hit space to actually draw the line in, it'll make a nice line for me. I'm just going to do that one more time. We're going to make a nice little X here, and then let's just do a circle. Now there's circles, there's ellipses, there's arcs, there's rectangles and polygons. You can put anything you want in here, but for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to put a nice simple circle. I'm going to make that almost to the end there. Okay, now we have this cool looking symbol. We're going to go over the first command. So trim will be the first one. If I type in trim right here, it'll ask for a cutting object. So if we want to get rid of this weird little anchor looking thing outside the circle, then the cutting object would be the circle, because we're using the circle to cut whatever's on the outside. So we're going to select the circle here, hit space, and it's going to ask for an object to trim. So if you want to just get rid of this awkward looking thing here, do a nice little select, and boom, it is gone. Sorry, very useful. I'm just gonna Control Z that real quick to bring it back. A shortcut that I like to use is basically selecting everything first, like this, and then typing in trim. What that does is it basically gives me free reign over everything that intersects, and I can cut anything which intersects with something else. So I can cut this out, I can cut that out, I can cut this half circle out, this thing sticking out, that part. Basically anything that is intersecting with something else, I can trim it away. I'm just gonna hit Control Z for an undo to get back our shape here, to go over our second command, which is extend. Now extend basically works in the exact opposite way that trim does. It'll extend the line out to wherever we want it to extend. So if we type extend in here, it'll ask for a selecting boundary, or sorry, it'll ask for a boundary object. And in this case, if you just want to extend this line over here up to the circle, then the boundary object is a circle, because that's what we want to extend it to. We're going to select the circle, hit space, and it's going to ask for a curve to extend. So I'm going to hit the curve that we want to extend, and it'll help us extend this curve all the way up to that circle. I'm going to hit space one more time to complete the command, and there we have it. That's our little extend. Now, for example, if I, just for demonstration, if I select everything here and I type extend, then again, we have free reign over everything here. We can extend anything that that is able to meet something else if we continue it. So for example here, this can meet that circle. This line segment can also meet the circle like that. And this line can also meet this line down here. I'm going to hit space again to complete the command. And yeah, that's basically what trim and extend does. Now the last command we're going to go over in this video is the fillet command. If we have sharp corners like this and we want to make them nice and smoothed out, we can use the fillet command. Now it'll ask for radius, join, trim, and extend arc. We're going to leave everything as it is. What we want to do is select the left side of what you want to fillet, and then the right side of what you want to fillet, and it's going to give us a nice little fillet here. You can see here it's a nice little arc controlled by these 5 points. Now I'm going to hit Control Z. If we want these to be smaller or bigger, we can change the radius here. So you can type R to change this or click this. And then if we want this to be a little bit bigger, maybe like 25 units, in this case millimeters, we can do the same thing. Click on the two sides of the fillet you want to use, and it'll make a nice 25 radius fillet for us. One little trick that not a lot of people know, but is really, really useful, is if we have something like this, and we want to get rid of these two sticking out so we have a nice sharp edge, we can use the trim command, which we just used, to trim these away. But something that not a lot of people know is that if we use the fillet command and we change the radius here to 0, and we click this line and this line, it'll do the same thing, but I think it's a lot easier, especially when you have a lot of these to do. And yeah, that concludes it for trim, extend, and fillet.